Hello everyone, welcome to this Fingal Chamber webinar along with ComSec, cybersecurity, or members of us here in Fingal Chamber. We're broadcasting this morning or this afternoon rather, from Fingal Chamber's offices here in Dublin Airport Central. You're very welcome along. We hope that the next 30, 40 minutes or so are really valuable to you and your company and getting that expert briefing from a local business here in Fingal. We would ask if you have any questions throughout the session that you please use the Q&A feature or function at the bottom of your toolbar, and we'll do our best to get answers to your questions at the end of the briefing. We will also record this and share this with you after the event, so if you'll be able to watch it back on demand, we'll also share it with any colleagues who might be interested in it. I'm delighted to introduce Dave McNamara from ComSec, who's going to bring you through the briefing this morning, and hope that you really enjoy it and the information that David's going to be able to share with us this morning. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks very much, David. And thanks everyone for coming along this afternoon. I really appreciate it. So just maybe in terms of agenda, just looking at a quick introduction about who I am, who ComSec are, the kind of threat landscape, the EU response to that threat landscape, and how you can secure your business aligned to some of the regulations that have come down the tracks, particularly NIS2 and DORA, and then just a little summary position. So a little bit about me. I founded ComSec in 2013, so we're coming into our 12th year of being in business. We've 25 employees. We're certified to ISO 27001 and also Cyber Essential, which is a UK standard to deal with government in the UK. I chair the Cyber Ireland Business Growth Committee, and I also sit on the Cyber Ireland Advisory Board. I had former roles in Air, Fujitsu, IBM, and Siemens, and I was a member of the Defence Forces here in Ireland. So who we are, we're a specialist ICT security provider. We have a 24/7 managed security operations center, and what that means is we actually have around-the-clock monitoring of our clients' environments to ensure that they stay protected from malicious actors and hackers. I mentioned our standards already, but we also help align clients to the new standards, NIS2 and DORA, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on. We've clients across the globe, UK, EU, Asia, North America, and industries include SMEs, software, financial, logistics, fintech, public bodies, and we've got what we call our 4 pillars of services. So just what that entails is our security operations center is front and center. We also do security testing in terms of penetration testing, infrastructure testing, cloud security testing. So all of those things that are important for your business. We offer third-party solutions in terms of with different vendors, such as ForcePoint and CrowdStrike, etc. And we also have our professional services piece of our business where we do Chief Information Security Officer as a service. So really information security advisory services, data protection, and also assessments against different standards and helping companies achieve compliance with those standards. So just quick, some of our customers, you probably recognize a few names there. So right across all different industries. So it is important, like cybersecurity is everybody's concern once you have a digital footprint. So some of the threat landscape. So what's happened here in Europe over the past number of years? So this is a NIS2 report, so the European National Information Security Authority, and it shows that Europe is by far being attacked one of the most in terms of global. So the European response to that, because these are all the different types of threats. We're all familiar with ransomware, malware, information manipulation, threats against availability, threats against data. But really the one that I'd like to talk about today is really the supply chain attacks. So because of the different regulations that have come out, NIS2 and DORA, are both focusing on the supply chain. And if you're supplying services into an organization that is part of NIS2, you will be asked some serious questions. And you're probably already starting to get questionnaires from larger organizations, government entities, water, waste, whatever it might be that you're dealing with on your cybersecurity posture. So the EU's response to all of this will obviously is the NIS2 Directive. It's the Digital Operation Resilience Act, or DORA as it's called. We've also got the Cybersecurity Act. We've the AI Act coming out very shortly, the Digital Services Act. So general data GDPR obviously has been around a while. So you've all these different regulatory landscapes to actually cover off. So what's the most important one for you in terms of your infrastructure and what it is? Well, it's NIS2 really, or DORA, depending if you're dealing with financial services organizations. So NIS2 was brought in to bolster up the defenses of organizations that deal with national infrastructure right across the board. And that includes the third-party supply chain that go into those NIS2 entities. So in terms of timelines, already passed October 17th is when NIS2 was supposed to be ratified by the different member states. Only maybe 8 to 10 have actually done that at this stage. Ireland is not one of those, but it is coming down the tracks very quickly. And member states then will establish a list of what they call essential and important entities. And some of the key areas under NIS2, it's risk assessment and management is a big part of it, your data integrity, your incident management and reporting, your business continuity plans, your IT system security, and your own supply chain as well. So in terms of the non-compliance and enforcement and penalties, there's a couple of different criteria. So if you're an essential entity, which means if you've over 250 employees and over 50 million of revenue, you're liable to fines of up to 10 million euro or 2% of your global worldwide annual turnover. If you're an important entity, the fines are a little bit less, with 7 million or 1.4% of your annual turnover. And for that, you need to have 50 employees or over and do 10 million of revenue. So there are serious penalties associated with this. And it even goes further than GDPR, because this is also in addition to GDPR fines if you have a breach that also results in a data breach. There's the National Competent Authority has the power now, and this is going to be the NCSC primarily, the National Cybersecurity Centre. It'll issue warnings for non-compliance. It can issue binding instructions. It can order to cease conduct that is not compliant. You can order to bring risk management measures and reporting obligations in your compliance in a specific manner and in a time period, and order to inform natural or legal persons who they provide service or activities which are potentially affected by a significant cyber threat. But also it goes a little bit further, because it's now taking information security out of IT's hands and brought it up to board level. So senior managers and board members can now be held accountable for their information security posture. And what that means in effect is that they will issue sanctions. They can name and shame you. They can prohibit you from doing your managerial functions, and they can impose fines. So it's a really big stick that is now used to make sure people are improving their security posture. In terms of the difference between NIS1 and NIS2, initially it was operators of essential services, and that was NIS1, which was about 100 organizations covering these type of sectors, transport, banking, financial markets, health sector, etc. It's now expanded that scope to include space, wastewater, public admin, digital providers, manufacturers, post and courier services, waste management, research, food production and processing. So it's really brought it from about 100 organizations up to nearly 4,000, and their supply chains. I don't think I can mention that enough. So involving your top management about the public disclosures that can be made, prohibition to do their managerial functions, and suspension of certifications. So if you get certified to NIS2 and then you have a breach and you're not conforming to it, that means other businesses can no longer deal with you. So this is about being a competitive advantage as well. So these are all the regulatory bodies or the national competent authorities that are over NIS2. So if you're in energy, drinking water, or wastewater, it's the Commission for Regulation of Utilities. If you're in digital infrastructure, ICT service management space, or you're a digital provider, and that can be anybody really, it's Comreg. Central Bank is all banking and financial markets. Aviation Authority is transport and aviation. Rail regulation is rail. And Minister for Transport is over transport and maritime. And the NTA, National Transport Authority, is all over roads and transport, and health is under the Department of Health. So in terms of the DORA requirements, they're very similar in nature to NIS2. It's about your ICT risk management, your incident reporting, your operation resilience, which is like business continuity planning on steroids, because what it goes down into is actually your key application, your key process, your key reliance on third parties. The third party risk is another big part of it, and there's information sharing requirements as well. So a kind of roadmap to compliance, check if you're in scope. The NCSE has a very good tool on its website that you can check if you're in scope, raise awareness of the requirements and the penalties to your board or to your senior management team. Get some training in terms of risk management for all your senior management. You now need to look at your budgets and how you're going to resource complying with it. Look at a compliance gap analysis against the NIS2 requirements and the minimum controls, and I'll go through those in a moment. Close the compliance gaps, and then look at continuous improvement and review. So it's really bringing cybersecurity out of IT and up to the board and senior management level. So what are the minimum cybersecurity controls? Well, there's 10 minimum ones. There's 16 in total, but the 10 minimum ones are risk analysis and information system security, how you handle an incident, your business continuity measures, your backups, your disaster recovery, your crisis management, your supply chain, your security and system acquisition, development and maintenance, including vulnerability handling and disclosure. So if you have a vulnerability, you have to disclose that and obviously try and fix the vulnerability. Your basic computer hygiene and training your staff on what to look out for, your policies on appropriate use of cryptography and your encryption, your HR security, your access control, your leavers and joiners policy, and the use of multi-factor authentication across your comms, video, and texts as well. So don't panic is probably the real word. If you can download the PDF for the 12 steps to securing your business, this is recommended from NISA, but effectively what they are is develop a good cybersecurity culture. So from the top down, so from board right down to your staff, publish your cybersecurity policies, and if you don't have them, get some in place. Provide some appropriate training in terms of your awareness, security awareness training, but also your risk management training for board members and senior managers. And ensure your effective third-party management. What are your suppliers into your organization that hold your data reliant on you doing business with other customers? What are they doing about cybersecurity? So this is what I mean by third-party cybersecurity risks is a big part of NIS2 and DORA. Develop an incident response plan. So look at the types of incidents that could affect your business, be it ransomware, and have a plan around it. Practice makes perfect. Secure your access to your systems, secure your devices, secure your network, improve your physical security, your backups, and engage with cloud providers as well to ensure that they are secure. Just because something's in Microsoft Azure does not mean it's secure. Hackers use Microsoft Azure to hack, so it's not exactly foolproof. So do engage with your cloud providers. Secure your online sites and look for information sharing as well. It's appropriate that I'm here today because if you look at a local attack, Aer Lingus was hit in a global cyber attack with compromised employee data, and it was supply chain related between each entity and its direct suppliers. So NIS2 will have to enhance everybody's cybersecurity defences. So good news, Enterprise Ireland, if you're an Enterprise Ireland client, there are now a couple of grants available. So they amount to €63,000 in total. So the first €3,000, which is 80% funded, is to do an audit against the NIS2 controls. So you get a provider in to do that audit, and then there's going to be remediations out of it. So there's a further €60,000, again, 80% funded, going to be provided by the National Cybersecurity Centre. So you can claim up to €60,000 to fix any of the issues that are found within the grant. Now, a full list of the audit, the certified auditors can be found on the Cyber Ireland site. We're a member of it, as I mentioned, and we can help there. And we can also help with the remediations. So we also have a solution called Business Secure, which is ideal for SMEs, particularly if you're kind of 1 to 50 type employees. Then we provide this service right across the board. It's very, very reasonably priced for €500 a year for up to 3 devices with 1 user, I might add, and with a little small setup charge. But it covers all the basic hygiene that you need. We can also look at add-on services for multi-factor authentication and security awareness training. So in terms of the key takeaways that I would recommend, right, there's a growing threat from overseas adversaries, particularly with phishing, ransomwares, and supply chain attacks. NIS2 and DORA brings over 4,000 organizations into scope, plus their supply chains, and you have to know your risks. So SMEs can follow the NIS 12 steps to start, but absolutely look at your own supply chain, and if you're part of a supply chain, that you then need to bolster up your own cybersecurity defenses. Get a gap analysis to highlight and address the weaknesses. Look at the Enterprise Ireland grants, because that's really important, and partner up with a dedicated cybersecurity company such as ourselves. And over to some questions. I know we have a poll that we've put out there. So we're getting some feedback in. So we've got somewhat confident, obviously knowing your risks, even somebody very confident, brilliant. Good security practices.
Great. You can just scroll down a small bit. There should be one below that. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that there are some people who aren't very confident. We've also somewhat confident. So even looking at some type of gap analysis of where you are against best practice is really good, particularly when it comes to NIS2, because you will be impacted by it, particularly if you're a third-party supplier of essential services. So have a look at that. Can you see the answers to the second one?
Yeah, it's there.
So it's great to see there's regular training sessions. That's very important. They are infrequent. So by keeping that front and center with your employees, it's really important. That's why we asked for this poll. And if you're planning to, talk to us, we can give you some advice on that. Staying updated with the latest threats, insurance compliance with regulations is going to be a big part. I know that's answered to zero, but it's coming down the tracks at a fast pace. Training the employees again and budget. So look, with the grants that are out there, and I'm sure Fingal have, or the Leos have support grants as well, in terms of bolstering your cybersecurity defences. So maybe talk to Fingal Chamber and see how you can actually access some of the funding that's out there. I know there's digitization grants, for example, that will help, and cybersecurity forms a part of that. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, so we'll just come in for you. There was a couple of questions. The first one being, is there any specific training around NIS2 for board members that you're aware of or could recommend?
Yes, absolutely. We're actually doing some training for board members with CPD related as well. So you get 4 hours CPD, and it's going to be done at the end of November and the first week of December with 2 dates for training board and senior managers on that.
And another question that's coming there is, how do I convince my CEO that investing in cybersecurity is going to give a good return?
Yes, well, not investing in cybersecurity will not give you a very good return at all. So there are ways you can actually look at that. I'd stay away from jargon. Talk about the resilience of the business. You're making it more resilient. You're helping your brand, your reputation, your customers, your staff, by improving that security. It also can be a competitive advantage. So if you get certified to one of the standards, for example, such as ISO, might be a bit meaty for SMEs, but there are other standards that you can do, even certified to NIS2, which we can help with, that will show your customers and your suppliers and your staff that you're taking cybersecurity seriously, and it can be that competitive advantage that's needed.
Excellent. I believe that's it at the moment for the questions, but please do feel free to add in any more questions that come to you over the next few moments. Yeah, just waiting a couple of minutes. So as for next steps, it really is go through those kind of 12 steps you've outlined a bit earlier of doing a sort of self-analysis of the business that you recommend people touch on first.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the training is a big part of it. Enabling multi-factor authentication will save your business if you do it properly. Also securing your backups and doing regular backups if you're not doing them already, and keep them off the same server or device that you do your normal business on, because if they get in to say one device and you have your backups on it, they can encrypt the whole lot, and that way in terms of ransomware you're practically out of business. So have proper backups, keep them separate, keep them offsite, enable MFA on your backups as well, but also encrypt them if you can. So and look for advice on how to do that. You can harden some of your devices as well, which putting in proper configurations and security settings on them. So yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask you, these hackers, criminals, is it that they're after the ransom, or are they after kind of some of the information in the data, or is it a little bit of anything they can get and just kind of see what they can play with?
Well, data is key to them, because that's important to you. It's important to your clients. They know you're willing to pay for that not to get out. But the fact that even if you have a breach, you're meant to inform the Data Protection Commissioner, but also now the NCSC, you have to do that in 24 hours. But the data they're after, that's all they're after, because that's money. To them, that's money.
Okay. Yeah. I see we've one more question. Where can be found the latest threats announced? So I suppose if there has been kind of keeping up to date with the latest threats that are out there? Where's a good resource to go to?
Yeah, the NIS2 website is actually very good in terms of the latest threat intelligence that's out there. Or talk to your security provider as well if you have one. They should be well up to speed in terms of what are the latest threats. Like it's the typical ones, it's the phishing, it's the smishing, as you'll see. But now there's what's called quishing, is QR codes being placed over other QR codes that redirect to a malicious site, which has happened here in Fingal. It's happened in Dunleary, Rathdown, Wicklow. So, particularly the barcodes that are up on, or the QR codes that are up on sites in car parks and things like that can easily be manipulated. So there's lots of different ways that hackers are looking to basically take your hard-earned money.
Yeah, we see it as great new tech. They see it as great new opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know, ComSec have been sending out kind of regular updates as to, I know we received some in the past few months all on this topic.
Yeah.
But, engaging with your provider and being able to kind of stay updated with what the latest, being aware it's QR codes this month and over the next little while, and being careful with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, you will be kept up to date as well. I might just add that in.
Yeah.
So you can do that on our website, which is comsec.ie.
That's it for the questions. Nothing else to add?
No, just stay safe. And look, if you want to talk to us, we're always available 24/7.
Great. So we have David's contact information up there. Thank you very much for joining us for this afternoon's webinar. And hopefully, stay safe, safeguard yourselves out there, and get in touch with us if we can be of any help at all. Thanks so much.
Thank you.